So I was in the economic council the other day, and just a regular day at work, and my colleague, his name is Ivan, just asked me, how much money do you make? How much money do you make every month? And being an American, being not really used to or comfortable with speaking about information such as height, weight, medications I might be taking, salary, test scores. I mean, there's a lot of things that we're uncomfortable speaking about, and salary is probably at the front of the list. Here in Moldova, it's not an issue, and the main reason it's not an issue is because it's really not a lot to talk about. The fact of the matter is that after going into a discussion with Ivan, I told him I didn't want to share that it was private, yet he was open to sharing how much he makes with me, and needless to say, it wasn't a whole lot. I actually make 2.5 times more than he does, which to me is very, very unfair. Just straight unfair. Ivan, graduated with a degree, a law degree. He actually is someone who speaks 4 languages, is very good at using a computer, and he speaks a little bit of English as well. So to hear that up front is just really troubling. He showed me a piece of paper, and he actually wrote down all of the expenses that come with that $2,000, from insurance to his pension to also paying taxes, and 40% of that is taken by the state of Moldova. And after that, he's left over with just about enough to pay for groceries, maybe grab a couple beers, twice a month, and then maybe buy a new shirt if he's lucky. But it wasn't even as sad as his colleague, Sergio, who decided to jump into the conversation and bring out his calculator and also add his wife's salary, which was half of his, and the fact that they both have a child together. So we have a dual income that isn't really, not even my salary, and they have a child that needs to go to school. He needs to buy books. He needs to buy him new toys. What kind of life is that outside of having enough money for the necessities, for food, for electricity, for water? He's left with just enough to feed his kid, and that's just, it's just sickening. It is actually just sickening that, an electrical engineer and a lawyer who I work side by side with, don't even scratch how much money I make, and even in general, it's enough to get by. It was also just weird on this topic of poverty. It was also weird to see that my the district council president one day was talking with the groundskeeper for a good amount of time, probably 15 minutes outside of the council, and laughing and sharing jokes and probably stories, and it just seemed odd to me. It just seemed odd to me that social interaction was actually taking place. In the States, I'm not going to rule out the possibility that a social leader could be friends with somebody who works at the ground level, but I asked Ivan. I said, Ivan, why? Is that normal? I mean, are they just really good friends or what have you? And he kind of told me, he said, and the fact of the matter is that we're all the same here. Whether you've worked your butt off to become district president or you clean toilets, we're all broke, and we're always going to be broke. That really hit me. That really hit home. That everybody accepts each other for who they are, not their status or their job or even money, because it's all an equal playing field. But I think the bigger problem with it is, not socially, but just the fact that, somebody would work as hard as, becoming the president of the district council, and yet, not earn, more than somebody who, takes out the trash, and I find that to be kind of unfortunate. Further on, I go to this cafe regularly. It's in the center of town, and I do homework there, and I talk with people. And there's one guy who always comes by, always says hi to me, and I really like him. His name is Pavel. And I really like him because he just comes off as very genuine. He asked me if I was from Romania, which is really funny because I don't think my Romanian is all that great, but he knew I wasn't from here, so he asked me if I was from Romania, and I said, no, I'm from the United States. And he's always curious, he always asks me questions, but I can't help but notice every time I look at him, he has a huge lump over his eye, just a huge lump over his eye that covers his entire eyesight. And I asked him, I said, did you get in a fight? Because I've never seen an eye swollen like that before. And he said he's had that since he was 7 years old. And this guy is probably in his mid-20s, and he's had this lump over his eye for nearly 20 years now. And what he told me was that when he went to get medical care, they refused him because he didn't have insurance. And an operation of this magnitude couldn't be processed without the insurance necessary to cover it. So he gets left out, and it's just sad. He's just a good guy, just a really, really upbeat person, and this doesn't faze him. This is part of his life, and he's accepted it, and he moves on. But it's just it's really unfortunate that people have to face things like that. Not even have the sight to just to see what's around you. Play sports, to just to interact with other people and not have to worry about how you look. I think that's just something I think we all take for granted. Away from disabilities, but further speaking on this topic. We have our business incubator that's up and running now. The building's been constructed, and today we get there and the workers don't show up. And all the guys in construction, the painters, people who are putting in the flooring, nobody shows up. And this isn't a first-time occasion. This is something that happens all the time. And I always ask my business partner, why is this happening? And he just basically told me they're probably off getting drunk. And I asked him, why don't you just hire another crew? Why don't you recruit more people to work on this building? And he told me, because that's all we got, and everyone's the same. And what he means by that is that they're going to pay the exact same amount, the people are going to work just as hard, and they're all going to go off and get drunk. And this is the problem. This is the biggest problem, is that with the way that this economy is structured, with the way that people earn a living, it doesn't matter how talented you are, you're going to earn the same. So my question kind of enters here is, where is the motivation? Where is the motivation for somebody to study their butt off, 10, 15 hours, per week after school, just to get that extra degree, just to get that little tidbit of knowledge? If it's never going to go anywhere, for your community, for your life, for your family, if you can't make a better living than what you're making, why try? And that's the biggest problem here. And it shows. It shows in the roads. It shows with how the electricity is a little shoddy. It shows with the internet not coming on every single day. Sometimes it's down and nobody fixes it. And it's with the water systems. It's with just trash being littered all around the city. It's something people don't take pride in, because why? Why take pride in it? It won't better your life if you put effort into it, so why try? And with the business incubator up and running, we have 12 projects that will hopefully create more jobs, more opportunities here. But I think the biggest thing that I'm going to have to learn is how to motivate people, and to show people that gratitude and recognition and working hard in general feels good. And hopefully that will reflect, not only in the pocketbooks, but just in general, just to make them feel that they have a mission here. And that's what my mission's going to be. And I just hope that everything improves for the better. And I just hope that one day, when they have kids, when their kids have kids, they won't have to end up like Pavel. They won't have to end up with being denied of health care, or getting drunk and missing work, or working their way up to being a politician, and actually seeing the benefits of working hard. That's important. So with that, motivation is going to be the one thing I work on, instilling that in each and every one of the business owners at our incubator, and hopefully we build a better result.